and then subscribe.
Scott Draper, part of the Big 12, joins us. He is the Big 12 Chief Football and Operations Officer. Joins Craig Smoak, Paul Catalina, David Smoak. Good to see you, Scott. Thank you very much. So much going on. I know you guys had meetings down in Florida, and it just seems like there's a lot of things that are going on. Let me ask you this. When you look at the depth of the Big 12 in football, how would you describe it based on it seems like it's always a wide open, wild, wild west, and the last place team in the preseason poll can win it like Arizona State? How do you look at the Big 12 when it comes to football?
Well, first of all, it's good to see you, and hope you're having a great summer. Yeah, great question. You know, Arizona State was picked last in the league by the media last year in the preseason poll, had a great season, and certainly finished first and played in the college football playoff. So for us, when we evaluate the Big 12, when I put the schedule together in the winter every year, it's really difficult to project who's going to be good and who's not going to be good, because there's parity across the league. So for us, it's a great thing. That means there's meaningful football every week. That means every game matters. And then when you get into November, last year we had 7 teams that could have played in Arlington in the conference championship game. So I think that's great for college football when you have great football being played every week.
Scott, with the playoff changes that are on the horizon, potentially, if everybody agrees to one, what is the challenge among each individual conference, particularly yours, to make sure that every school is prepared to have competitive teams, to be on the front of everybody's mind? Because every conference but a couple have a 20-year lead on PR and all of that.
Yeah, I think we recognize that fact, right? And certainly that the Big 12, we're 8 new teams in 2 years, so we've got a collection of schools that haven't built that history over time. But that doesn't mean that we aren't committed and our schools aren't committed to playing at the highest level. Our commissioner Brett Yormark has been pretty vocal about our position for the college football playoff in terms of earning it on the field. And he says this all the time, that we're willing to bet on ourselves. And we're confident that given the opportunity, we can compete at the highest level. We've proven it. Many of these programs have proven it in their history. We just haven't proven it as a league together because we're 8 new teams in 2 years. So as we look forward to the future, there's no doubt that college football is changing, certainly. And the industry is changing, and I feel confident and know the commitment that our schools are making to be there and will be there every year.
The answer is just winning, right, Scott? I mean, you pretty much just said it there, but we get questions all the time. We wonder ourselves about, like, well, how can they ensure this, and how can they make sure of that, and how can they – you ultimately have to win, right? And that comes with the investment part of it, but that's what's going to change perceptions from networks or from media folks or whatever, is to simply force yourself into the conversation by winning, right?
Yeah, I mean, which obviously, I mean, that's the obvious answer, but I think how you do it and how the collection of schools in our league, all 16 of them competing at a high level every year, I would say that, I've said this a lot, that, and you kind of referenced it, we don't have anybody here that starts the season on second base.
Right.
Everybody starts the season in the batter's box. And I think that's a great thing for college football. And the more that we in the Big 12 can harp on that, the better off I think the industry will be, and college football will be, because I think it's important for us that every school has a chance to be in the championship game, and that plays out every year. So I love the position that we're in. I really do.
So, but do you feel like that if, in fact, you just go out and win, that you're not still behind the curve because of perception, because of tradition and all that? Because that's what seems to be right now top of mind.
Well, this is my 33rd year of college football. I spent the first 19 in the Big Ten at Michigan, and I understand what you're asking. And I would tell you that the ebbs and flows of college football year over year, and the perception of certain leagues year over year change. And it's our job, and I know our schools are focused on winning at the highest level every year. They put their resources into it, the coaches, the players that they're bringing into their program. They're trying to build it not just for that year, but for many years. And collectively, we do that over a period of years as a new league, we'll get the respect that we've earned.
Scott Draper from the Big 12 with us on 365 Sports.
How much do you feel that you are like in the Indy 500, but you get to the 500th mile, and they're like, guess what? It's the Indy 3000 now. When it comes to the ever-changing world of what your job is,
the only thing that's constant in college athletics is change, and so again, I've been around a long time, so seen it evolve. It is a little bit like running on a treadmill, but I would tell you that that's just part of the way college athletics is right now. We're going through a transformational time. The changes that are happening are ultimately going to be positive for the sport, and if we all embrace it and work together. I've said this a lot too, that the four conferences are working together. They want it to work, and they want to find common solutions so that the collective can be stronger. And so we spend a lot of time together. We talk a lot and try to work through the common issues together, and that's a good thing, and I think that's good for college football.
I know the sports year's not quite over yet. The hope is for you guys, Arizona goes to Omaha and wins the whole dang thing. But to have Texas Tech playing for a title and be so firmly invested, Houston playing for the basketball title, obviously they're all in. Arizona State making the big splash, being probably the most talked about team of championship weekend, quite frankly. Just what do you kind of look back on? I know not to reflect so much, but what have you kind of made of this year and sort of the splashes that have been made?
Well, TCU winning the national championship in beach volleyball too, right? So, Utah women's gymnastics playing here in Fort Worth and Arlington, at Dickey's for the gymnastics championship. So we across the board, the addition of the schools, the new schools into the Big 12 have been remarkable and have added great value. I was in Oklahoma City last Friday. Electric atmosphere, great softball game. Certainly what Texas Tech is doing and what they've done is nothing short of remarkable, and I expect them to continue to do that. And I will be rooting hardest for Arizona on Friday and expect them to continue a great run. But looking back on this year, the theme is really the additions of the new schools. Came in and competed at a high level and without a doubt made us stronger and better.
Scott, how much debate was there or tug of war with you and Brett and others on what is the best playoff format for football in the Big 12? Well,
Brett's done a great job of keeping our presidents and athletic directors informed and on every step of the process. And certainly what our view and goal has always been is that there be an opportunity to earn it on the field, and that it be that, the new college football playoff format is a reflection of every conference and their abilities. And I think he's been outspoken about that. And I think that's the will of our group as well, is that we have the opportunity, if we do what we need to do and we do what we should do, that we have the same opportunities. And so I think that's been clear, and he's talked about that a lot, and he's certainly been open with our membership about that as well.
When it comes to following the 5+11 model, the versus the AQ model, obviously there's like a second cookie on the table, right there that you can say, well, you can automatically have two cookies. And that for a lot of people says, oh, well, that's what you have to do because there's no guarantee past the one. But is it also saying something that you are betting on the league each and every year, as opposed to just saying like, might as well be as good as it gets?
Well, I think what we've said is exactly what you kind of alluded to at the end, is that betting on the league and betting on our ability to compete at the highest level every year, and giving that opportunity is something that we feel strongly about. I think, getting into not getting into specifics about a format, but I think having the opportunity to be able to earn it on the field every year, every team it's kind of started at the top, every team at the beginning of the season has the same opportunity if they invest, if they do what they need to do during the season, win games, and have the opportunity at the end to play for a national championship. If every school in the Big 12 can say that, that's a good thing. And I think if every program in the country can say that, that's good for college football. That makes the regular season more valuable. That allows teams to invest and feel that there's a reward for that investment.
You mentioned that everybody's on the same page, or at least it appears to be when it comes to the conferences and the college football playoff. Do you feel that is exactly the way, based on what Brett Yormark or what you've heard, that the Big Ten and the SEC want to play fair, or is it they got to take care of themselves and whoever wants to tag along, that's fine? And I think it's a very legitimate question.
Yeah, and like I'm not going to speak for anyone else's league. Certainly, I would just tell you that the conversations that I've had and that I know Brett's had with the other leagues is that everyone is trying to find solutions that work for the collective good. And ultimately, it's a difficult thing to try to get over the finish line. So and they're being thoughtful, and that's good. And certainly everyone has their own leagues and constituents that they have to keep in mind. But certainly I think everyone's working hard to try to do what's best for college football.
All right. So you have Arlington wrapped up, I think, right, with the football game until 2030. How quickly or how soon do you start looking at that? And do you see that is ever moving from AT&T Stadium?
Well, AT&T Stadium, and first of all, the Cowboys organization and their staff and the team that we work with at AT&T, the Cotton Bowl certainly helps and operates the game. And I've said this a lot. There's not a better run organization in the country. I've been in a lot of stadiums in a lot of places, and AT&T Stadium is the best in the country. It just is. The care of the building and the care of the staff that's there is second to none. So I don't see us looking beyond AT&T Stadium, and 2031 is certainly a time that we'll evaluate again. But AT&T Stadium is the best in the country, if not the world, and I've been very open about that. I just believe it to my heart.
All right, one other question, if you don't mind. I know it's been brought up, and Brett mentioned that he likes the scheduling the way it is. Why wouldn't the Big 12 and the ACC come up with something that they start playing each other to try to have better, even non-conference games into the future?
Well, I think we're always doing that. I think both leagues are absolutely talking to each other, and not just with the Big 12 and the ACC, but the other leagues as well, the SEC and the Big 10. I think it's good for college football for us to play each other, and certainly Baylor and Auburn, opening the season on Friday night on Fox is an example of that. So we'll continue to do that, and be intentional about playing the best competition we can play.
Scott, thank you for your time. I know it's busy. Appreciate it. Will you be in Frisco at Media Days?
Look forward to seeing you there.
We'll come up and say hi. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Scott Draper with us, who is the Big 12